Hello everyone, welcome back to the Tech Sharmit podcast. Today I'm joined by another special guest, Maycon Belfort, who is joining us all the way from Brazil. Maycon is an IBM champion and a senior Maximo consultant with extensive experience in enterprise asset management, Maximo upgrades, MAS implementation, and HAC solution for the high risk industries. His background in information system and maintenance engineering has played a key role in shaping the future and journey across the EAM landscape. So today in this episode, we will explore his engineering foundation. We will try to find out like how his engineering foundation guided his path, the evolution of Maximo from version 4 all the way to MAS 9, and so many other things. But before we proceed further with this session, I would like to thank Mycon for joining us today in this episode. And now I request you to please initiate the discussion by telling us a bit about yourself.
Thank you, Amit. My pleasure. Hi, everyone. I'm Maycon Belfort. I'm from Brazil, but I currently live in Australia. I'm a senior Maximo consultant in IBM Champion classes 2024 and 2025. I work for Navion, an IBM Platinum business partner. I started very early in the IT area, working on desktop maintenance, and as an instructor of IT course, teaching Microsoft Office package, among other things. I have 20 years of experience in IT, of which 13 were spent working with this IBM Maximo solution.
All right. Okay. So, yeah, we all know that you have contributed a lot, particularly in this particular field. But here, like, I just wanted to know about the initial days of your journey, because your journey into IT is rooted in a blend of information systems as well as maintenance engineering. So, how did these two worlds came together to shape your career in the EAM or enterprise asset management?
Well, yeah, that's an interesting mix, isn't it? So I'm from a small town in the countryside of Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, the only options to enter uni were moving to a bigger city. And despite having some experience in working with desktop maintenance and other things, IT related, I hadn't decided at that time what to do after the high school.
Okay.
So I remember that I was at high school when we received a visit from a university student from a recently opened campus in a city near my hometown,
Mm-hmm.
who invite us to learn more about the system information curriculum at that uni. So with nothing to lose, I just went, and it was that I saw really cool things there. We're learning there, like of course programming stuff, but also related with administration, project management, IT service management, and game development. So that's how I decided to enroll and complete the system information graduation. After graduating, a few friends invited me to apply for a job position at their company. And after being accepted by that company, I moved to a bigger city and started working with IBM Maximum version 7.1, 6.7.1.
Okay.
A year later, I moved to another company where I worked for 10 years. In the middle, I worked with IBM Maximo for IT, which later became the IBM Control Desk, and I decided then to pursue my I2 certifications. In
Okay.
the meantime, the company won a tender to support a major enterprise in the oil and gas industry area, and it was then that I enrolled in this postgraduate course in maintenance engineering. The decision was to better understand maintenance principles.
Yeah.
After all, was a really huge company that we start supporting.
Mm-hmm.
And so learning those maintenance principles and best practices uh, basically to improve my consulting skills and also to speak the same language with those I had to interact with during the requirements gathering and implementation
Correct.
of Maximo. So that's the story of this mix.
Yeah, it's very inspiring, especially for those like who are also looking into these kind of career, like when they want to build their career with multiple technologies or to play the different roles, so they can learn a lot from your journey. So,
Right.
moving ahead, Maicon, I just want to ask you one question regarding the evolution of Maximo, because you have spent so many years working with this particular technology. So, how would you describe its evolution from Maximo 4 all the way to MAS 9? Like, what do you think? Like, what all things has been changed, and from your perspective, like how it is evolved?
Yeah, when I started in the Maximo world, I started with Maximo 7.1,
Okay.
but I had a few work projects with Maximo 5, Maximo 4, mainly doing some upgrades and even re-implementing Maximo in newer version. But Maximo is started in the 80s with a
Mm-hmm.
company called PSDI, and it was a very simple software with a PC-based, file-based, also single user maintenance system. Pretty simple, just focus on the basic asset and maintenance tracking. Later, we had the version 3.0A, 3.0A, in early 90s,
Okay.
and then become migrating a little bit to a client server software with a relational database. So that is when it's starting uh, taking a shape of a CMMS application, developing some modules like work order management, asset management, inventory, purchasing, and others that still exist in the
Okay.
nowadays version. So after that, in the latest 90s, we had the release of Maximo 4. And it was when PSDI decided to introduce a little bit of a web application. So you still have some web front ends with some client server applications. So basically, the some applications like configuration was a client server app with that uh, look and feel of Windows apps. So you had to open it, install it in your machine, your computer, open it to interact with the server.
Okay.
And later we had the Maximo 5 version where we also had a change of the company name. So PSDI became the MRO software,
Mm-hmm.
and when they start introducing the Java class, migrating to Java. So most part of Maximo was rewriting in Java, but also having the web stack of that application. So you start introducing the browser-oriented architecture.
Okay.
Later in Maximus 6, we have a full Java application of Maximo. And then we had also the IBM acquisition in 2006. So at that time, IBM already had a relationship with the PSDI MRO software company with a marketing relationship that later became the IBM buying the company and accepting the software. And
Okay.
that software become part of the IBM Tivoli products.
Mm.
Um, Later, now already with as an IBM product, the version 7.1, when I started,
Yeah.
it was already a mature Java application, and we also had the TPI, which is the um, Tivoli Process Automation Engine, which is the framework where Maximo was built on after migrating to Java. And IBM also released the version 7.5, introducing new add-ons and industry solutions, a lot of enhancements to Maximo. So we had linear assets as an add-on. We had migration manager, conditional UI, data restrictions, every place mobile, which is an application friendly, mobile friendly to users, but not real mobile. Everything had to be online at that time with every place. But then IBM also started expanding the industry solutions with the version 7.5. It was also in the 7.5 version where IBM introduced the automation script, which
Right.
was a big thing for Maximo because every
Correct.
time we had to do customizations for client, we had to extend Java classes, modify those classes, and the introduction of automation scripts using Python and JavaScript changed it a lot. So that was a big thing. Later, we had the 7.6 version that was around 2014.
Yeah.
IBM also changed it. So before that version, we had always big release from IBM, major versions. And starting in 7.6, IBM decided to do some continuous delivery of features packs, delivering fixed packs and also enhancements. We
Right.
also had in that version the remove of the Java applets from the web browsers. IBM introduced the new workflow designer, which was also a big thing at that time. And along with that, IBM introduced the Bing model support and several improvements to inventory, license, depreciation application, and of course, a long-term enterprise EAM platform. Then 2021, we had again a major release of Maximo, which became the IBM Maximo application suite now.
Yes.
Maximo was then um, Maximo became the Maximo Manage application. It's part
Yeah.
of the suite. And with that, we have monitor, health, predict, that is still part of the suite now. Also, with this Mass 8 version, we had a change in the infrastructure. So before you have the web application architecture, and now you have more containerized, cloud-oriented applications using OpenShift and microservice. So that's the story of Mass. And now 2024, 2025. So basically every year now we start having new release of Maximo. So we had Mass 8 until Mass 8.11. Then we had the 9.0 and now the latest one, 9.1.
9. It's good to see like how this application has evolved over the years, and the way IBM has supported this product, because every time like it comes up with some challenges, but they took a proper updates and make the things suitable for the business. So that's a great thing, and that's
It,
make it perfect.
it, it's 40 years of
Yes.
this software, so it's a long time development. So that's
Correct.
why IBM Maximo is in the leadership of the Magic Quadrant of several areas.
Correct. All right. And what, Michael, like you have also, while working, you have also handled the upgrades across the major versions, which we just discussed. So what do you think, like what are the common pitfall company face during the Maximo upgrades? Because we talked about the versions, but when an organization is upgrading it to the upper version, so in that case, like sometimes they face some obstacle challenges. So from your experience, like what are those common obstacles that they usually follow, and how they can avoid these kind of situations?
Right. So depend on the version you are migrating, right?
Hmm.
So if you are in early versions like Maximum 4, we still have companies with Maximum 4 Maximo 5,
Five.
7.1, and 7.6, right? So depending on the version you have, the upgrade is not an option anymore. You need to re-implement Maximo because
Mhm.
everything changed so much that they need to implement. But thinking on the versions like we have now, major of the clients with the version 7.5, even 7.6 version, that's an easy path to mass. So one common things that I saw over the years working with this product, for me, customization conflict
Yeah.
is the biggest one. Some clients have some legacy Java customizations, even automation scripts or UI extensions that are not more compatible with mass or the
Yes.
architecture that we have now with mass. And I believe one way to avoid that is to identify all those custom code and configurations as soon as possible. Sometimes
Hmm.
we also need to think about refactoring those applications. So sometimes you have an application that was created that now it's part of the core solution of manage, right? So sometimes you can thinking even decommission that application and start using what was developed by IBM. Sorry. Another big thing that I can think of is data migration failures. So it
Mm-hmm.
could cause inconsistencies, duplicate records, and even oversize the historical data, causing validation errors, performance degradation, and even silently break from the database chains. So those kind of things could also happen when you have major upgrades. Uh, to resolve or to address those kind of things, we could think of on archive solutions or
Mm-hmm.
even writing scripts to get those old data from Maximo, mainly companies that have been using Maximo for many years. They have a large history of work orders, asset chains, and other tables in the Maximo database that could think of creating another database and migrating this historical data there. So making this cleanup also help a lot with the migration and the time to complete the upgrade. Another thing could be run some pre-migration checks and of
Mm-hmm.
course doing some trial runs to see what else we need to work on before completing the upgrade. Um, one other thing is regarding integration. So before with the 7.6 and other architectures or the versions of Maximo, it has a web application architecture where you could direct connect to the database. So many integrations was built using direct connection to the database, and with this new architecture, sometimes it's not even possible. So one way to avoid that is maybe map and perhaps rewrite
Mapping.
those
Yeah.
integrations, pre-upgrade, of course, and preferable using the REST API for those integrations, and as well as do really heavy tasks end to end when we have the UAT phase of the pause upgrade.
Correct.
Um, Another thing I can think of is insufficient testing. So
Mm.
some clients or for bad decisions decide to skip some regression tests during the
Yes.
UAT phase or even under testing the business process. So of course, one way to avoid that is to prioritize the core process during the UAT phase, allocate enough time for those testing, and of course, if possible, use some automated test tools that can do these regression testings for us. Um, I think the last thing I can mention about these pitfalls are the user resistance and training gaps. So
Correct.
from Maximo 4 to passing to web applications with the new design of 7.6 version, the UI. Uh, this UI and the user experience changed a lot, and it was always a pain for us consultant to train them on all those things changing in the UX
Right.
and UI. So one way to avoid this is engaging the stakeholders, do some phased training, and promote some champions that can run some pilots with key users to start propagating how the new UI and experience using Maximo change it. So this is are the main those are the main things that I can think of, or the pitfalls companies sometimes face, and also based on my experience.
Yeah, I think these are some of the great practices you just shared with everyone. So those who are into the upgradation process, they can try to implement these things in order to get the desired output. And Michael, like we talked about the versions, we talked about the pitfalls as well. Now we will talk a little bit about the implementation, because you have delivered so many POCs on installation for MAS. So what do you think? Like, what are the elements that help us to determine whether a MAS is MS implementation will be successful or a failure? So do you think any particular element that will that we can consider?
Yeah, that's a difficult question because several factors could lead to a successful or
Correct.
unsuccessful implementation, or even what success and
Hmm.
failure mean for that project, right?
Correct.
In my entire career, I have only seen one project that was canceled before going live due to the
Okay.
amount of rework required to implement it. You can run into problems during the implementation due to no and external factors causing delays, but in the end, we always can deliver that implementation and it still be considered a success, right? I think all depend on the requirements, the resource, the client availability, and etc. Everything can be managed when you have an implementation process that supports that project team, PMs, consultants, infrastructure, and even the client. But in my opinion, a key factor for success is early user involvement in tasks.
Hmm.
And I believe that agile approach allows us to deliver quickly and receive early user feedback, which help us avoid certain paths in the project. So you can make decisions early rather than waiting to the final to get the response or that agile speech. So that's what I think. Fail fast, fix faster.
Okay. All right. All right. So moving ahead, now, Michael, we will talk bit about your personal life and the place from where you belong. So, like, if you could just share one thing about your own country, Brazil, with the rest of the world. So, what you think? What are the few things that you feel that yes, people should really know about this country and they should appreciate it? So, what are those things?
Well, first, Brazil isn't only about football or soccer, wherever you prefer.
Correct.
Second, São Paulo isn't the Brazilian capital, that's Brasilia. And I think there are many more beautiful places to visit in Brazil other than only Rio de Janeiro.
Correct.
For instance, Praia Grande has amazing beaches. Bonito is a wonderful place in the countryside. So I would suggest exploring more of those other amazing places there if someone wants to visit there.
Okay. All right. So I think that's the myth you just break, that people always think about the football and the sports thing related to
Yes,
Brazil.
yes,
But yeah.
correctly.
Okay. All right. And another thing, like Mycon, we all know that you have trained so many other professional as a mentor. But in your journey, like who were those key people who helped you in your journey? Maybe your friends, family members, mentors. So who were those key people around you who influenced your journey so far?
Well, first of all, I'm very grateful to God. I
Okay.
wouldn't have conquered half of what I've done if not for the faith I have in Him.
Hmm.
Secondly, of course, my family, my wife, my daughter, my parents, for supporting and providing guidance. So those are the people that I really grateful for helping me on during this journey. And as a mentor, I have my former company owner, Albert Pongialupi,
Hmm.
who guide me on several aspects of my professional life and personal life as well, and through who I learned a lot about Maximo infrastructure, database, and so on.
Okay. That's great to know. Like there are so many persons, and I'm sure like a list is so long we can't take all the names here. But
Indeed.
yeah, it's great that we acknowledge their efforts and like their journey has also influenced your path. So that's a great thing. All right. So now moving ahead, like although like we have plenty of things that we can discuss here, but we are short on time. So I just want to take last few questions. So my
Okay.
next question is related to the consultancy because you like when you are training some new Maximo consultant. So what do you think? Like what mindset or skills do you consider that yes, these are the skills that are most important to develop on the early stages or initial days? So what are those things?
Right. So I believe the mindset is to be open-minded.
Hmm.
Maximi, it's a huge solution, and
Right.
I can say that I don't know everything about Maximi. There are several add-ons and industry solutions that I have never worked on before. And for some people, these might scare them. So being open-minded can help you absorb more knowledge. And even if you are not using it in your daily activities, you remember that if you've seen that before, and then you can start studying it deeply if needed.
Okay.
For skill, I believe it will depend on the path you want to follow with Maximo.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a functional consultant, learn what Maximo offers, its applications, the process involved on those applications, and how they are related to each other. This will make the person a better functional consultant. If
Okay.
going to the other direction as a technical consultant, I recommend learn that Maximo is not only about automation scripts. Several configurations can be done using conditional expressions and conditional UI and security restrictions without writing any Python or JavaScript code. So learning this will definitely make um, this person stand out in this field.
Okay. All right. So now we will take the last question, and it is related to one of the hot topic nowadays. Everyone is talking about AI, artificial intelligence. So, in your perspective, like, what do you think? Like, in the upcoming time, AI-driven assist management will eventually replace the traditional EM workflows, uh, or so? What do you think? Like, will it replace it or not?
I think it has already replaced it. So,
Mhm.
for instance, in this new 9.1 release, which has more AI features, but in fact, since Mass 8, since day one, we have AI analyzing patterns from sensors in the monitor application. We have predicting when an asset would fail using training models, machine learning, and so on. So AI is a red part of the EAM, and what Mass 91 delivers on top of that, it's an intelligent assistant, which is now is the hot topic,
Correct.
right? Where you have AI agents interacting with, where you have conversational talk with this agent, and it can query all these data and give it to you. So I think it's already uh, there, present, changing how EAM works. For instance, during my post graduation, I studied a process called Athenia, which is failure modes and effects analysis.
Mhm.
It's a process that breaks down an asset into functions, and to do that, it requires time and people to analyze several aspects of a single asset and to determine its boundaries, the failure modes, and how to prevent them. And 9.1 now has a new functionality that help you in speed up this process. So AI, it's in AAM, it's a red reality, but maybe the adoption may take some time.
Okay. All right. So yeah, thank you so much, Maicon, for joining us today in this episode and for sharing so much information regarding the Maximo versions, common pitfalls, and also for letting us know about bit about the Brazil and their contribution. So thank you once again. It was really nice talking with you and to know about your journey. So thanks again for joining.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and my pleasure being part of your Tax Summit podcast.
Thank you.